Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is StepsBasic and welcome back to my community show. News Talk Radio or something like that, I don't remember. Anyway, that's not what's important. What's important is today we're going to talk about y'all being addicted to video games. Yeah, that's right. Video games are rotting your brains and y'all getting addicted. But anyway, that's not entirely true. But that is what I wanted to talk about on today's show. Recently, specifically this month, the World Health Organization has released an update to something that we saw back in 2014, i.e., they have upgraded gaming disorder to an actual disorder. Well, sort of. See, back in 2014 was not even the beginning of this whole nonsense, but back in the beginning, back in 2014, they started talking about putting gaming disorder as a condition which required further study, a condition for further study. And in January, they put out a revision to the International Condition Disease, the ICD, the International Classification of Diseases. Back in January, they had started the revision of the ICD number 11 to include gaming disorder as an actual disorder. And this is a problem. First of all, I have to talk about this a little bit more. Ever since I can remember, people have been talking about gaming as an addiction. Does this mean gaming is a serious threat to your health? No. First of all, even the World Health Organization acknowledges that this only affects a small fraction of people who play. And of course, they have this list of reasons and things that you can worry about and such. Now, they don't seem very much in touch with what gaming is. But I was looking over their symptoms. Stupid fly. I was looking over their symptoms of disorders, and I got it right here. I don't have it right here. One second. I'm prepared. Look at me. Heavy focus on internet gaming. Yeah. I don't know how they define heavy focus. First of all, it's too vague a term. Now, some people have been liking it to 20 hours or more a week. 20 hours is not a lot. Now, admittedly, I don't play 20 hours a week. For my recording, for my channel, I do an hour a day, maybe. And then when I play with Potato Nana, just on the off hours with no recording, I'd say maybe 10 hours a week at most. And it's a pretty liberal at most there. And that's funny because when you look at an official document, an official statement of something like this, they can't just use vague terms like heavy or soft. They need an actual definition of those words. What is heavy? Alright, withdrawal symptoms when you take away your gaming. Now this is interesting, because withdrawal can mean a lot of things as well. Now, of course, when you use withdrawal in the medical sense, there is a clear definition of it, i.e. physical symptoms that are measurable through withdrawal. On the other hand, a civilian or a non-affiliated person in the real world, like you or I, may see withdrawal and think about just reminiscing or, thinking about it. And now, admittedly, this comes from the World Health Organization, meaning that you expect, when you see withdrawal associated with the World Health Organization, you think the official definition, which is, of course, physical symptoms, sweating, profuse shakiness, the rickets. Not rickets. But anyway, that's the sort of thing. So that comes with an actual one. What the site actually defined it as was sadness, anxiety, irritability, measurable symptoms of withdrawal. Of course, they don't measure the physical ones, so maybe not. Tolerance. You need more time gaming. Now this is kind of funny. Admittedly. I was reading through all of these symptoms and I was looking at it like this is not indicative of gaming. This is indicative of addiction, which is the biggest problem I have. Can you be addicted to video games? The short answer, kinda. The really long answer is yes. You can get addicted to video games. But it's not so much an addiction to the video game as it is what the video game represents. You can literally be addicted to anything. Anything. As long as you derive pleasure from said thing. Now, I'm wearing myself a nice little collared shirt here. I don't like it. I never wear collared shirts except on special occasions. I wore it specifically today to demonstrate one thing. I really enjoy wearing t-shirts. And it doesn't matter if it's got a graphic on it, it's got funny comments on it. I just like the t-shirt feel. It's lighter. It feels less restrictive around the neck and arms area. Am I addicted to wearing t-shirts? Now, of course, as with anything, addiction is a strong word. I'm definitely not addicted to wearing t-shirts, it's just a preference. And I can tell you why, I prefer them over collared shirts like this. Same with my hat. Now, the funny part is, I might even go a step further to say I may actually have an addiction to wearing hats. You see me in darn near all of my videos wearing a hat of some form or another. Because without my hat, I feel naked. And not like I feel like I forgot something sort of, I feel naked, but like I actually feel like I'm exposing parts of my body that I oughtn't be exposing. And it's weird. I feel like I am missing something when I don't have my hat on. Addiction is like that, really. Addiction is a part of your life. And like the symptoms that they listed for it, you will see your addiction start to affect your real life. You're spending more time away from reality, away from your family. You're spending way too much time plugged in rather than, engaged. You're spending time just doing nonsense, even if you like playing just Minecraft and you're just wandering around, not really doing anything, but you have to be there doing something. These are symptoms of addiction, and you can present with these symptoms. Does it mean you're addicted? No. The problem with this, that I have with this, is it's too broad. It's an enjoyable pastime that you get into and have fun with. Me, I've used video gaming for a number of crutches in my life, but I don't feel like I need it. If I get into it, I might get lost a bit, but I never feel like I can't put it down and walk away. As a matter of fact, I did for several years, and even still, I won't play video games if my kid's around, because I want to spend time with her and not my video games. Now, if we're playing a video game together, now that's a different story. So I have never actually been what I would consider addicted to video games, but the potential is there because I enjoy them. I find them to be a good escape, and I can get lost in them. And that's where the addiction comes from. Just like smoking cigarettes, just like drinking alcohol, just like skydiving out of a plane, just like getting tattoos. All are addictive substances, all are addictive pastimes because of the dopamine in your brain that says, I like this. So you're less addicted to the gaming. Now, of course, alcoholism and nicotine and other drug stuff have more chemical addictors than just the dopamine, but you get the point. You enjoy this, your brain releases this hormone into your brain that says, enjoy, have fun. And that's what you're addicted to. That's why I have an issue with them saying video games are the problem, because video games are not the problem. The person is the problem. And this, I feel, is just one step further to demonizing what is just an innocent toy, essentially. Now, of course, I'm going to break my script for a second to talk about I have known people with real serious problems with gaming. One guy I know left the military and just jumped into World of Warcraft. Hardcore. He got a job to support his Warcraft. He lost that job because he wouldn't leave Warcraft. He got another job because he needed to pay for Warcraft again. He managed to work his schedule around a little bit to manage it so he didn't have any conflict, but he eventually lost the job again because he wanted to stay in the game. He wanted to go on a raid that took him several hours to get through, and so he just skipped work. This guy was a friend of mine, and he had a problem, a serious gaming problem. But like I said, it wasn't a matter of the game itself, because whether or not it was the game that it was his problem, or like say he went gambling, that would have been a problem too. Drinking, drugs, skydiving, or if he just liked tattoos. Now, of course, tattoos are a little bit different because while they're really freaking expensive, they're less of a inhibit your whole life sort of deal. But at the same time, they can be just as addicting. And that is wherein I see the problem with this classification. I'm not the only one out there who sees this problem. There are many medical professionals out there who are pointing out the fact that this isn't a gaming disorder. And it's funny because if you look at the classification of it, it's classified under substance abuse disorder. So in a way, everyone knows that it's not the game's fault. But at the same time, if you were to tell the normal layperson who does not know what the DSM-5 is, doesn't know what the ICD is, if you go and tell them that, wow, did you know that officials have actually declared gaming disorder to be a problem and that people can actually have mental issues derived from gaming? They're likely to believe you. I mean, if you tell them it was like somebody special, like the CDC or World Health Organization, which sounds so official, but at the same time, you're missing the entire point. I've used video games as coping mechanisms. I use humor as a coping mechanism. And much like anybody else, I have to use my coping mechanisms on occasions. But does that mean that I'm addicted? Does that mean I have this disorder? Well, technically, by their definition, no, I don't. Because, like I said, heavy focus on internet gaming is far too vague. You can't just say heavy. I'm stressing the point that they said that, and they were too vague about that. But the fact of the matter is you cannot be qualified as having gaming disorder without having met at least 5 of the symptoms, i.e. the heavy focus, the withdrawals, needing to spend more time, you give up other activities, and you have loss of interest in other activities that you once enjoyed, and you continue to play despite the problems. You deceive your family members and others about the amount of time spent on internet gaming? Well, I mean, that's another symptom of addiction. You know, addicts tend to not tell the truth when they say, have you smoked today? No, I don't smoke at all. I quit smoking. Smoke is bad for you. The use of internet gaming to relieve negative mood, coping mechanism, such as guilt or hopelessness, doesn't I prefer. Risk, having jeopardized or lost a job or relationship due to internet gaming. You have to meet at least 5 of those to be classified as having the gaming disorder. I meet a few of those, actually. Yeah, so that's basically it. I meet 3 of the 5, or 3 of the things here. Coping, heavy focus, giving up other activities. I count that as a count towards me, but you know what the heck. That's just to help me feel better. And that's ultimately what it boils down to, is it's not gaming disorder, and it shouldn't be qualified as gaming disorder. I mean, in a lot of aspects, it's a lot less destructive than the other substance abuse disorders that you may face, i.e., it's just a game, bro. And yes, there are people out there who will freak out and say, it's not just a game, it's a way of life. I don't know why I'm Cockney, but it's alright. Because I'm weird. But yeah, those guys do need help. But it's not about the game, it's about the person. And truth be told, I guess you could say that about most any addiction. Which is why I feel better just saying substance abuse, addiction. Rather than, gaming addiction. But maybe that's just me. If you have any other comments about that, you're more than welcome to leave down in the comment section down below, and I would love to hear them. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me for my community show today. That's all I've got to talk about. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please go ahead and poke that like button for me if you'd like to. Of course, you can comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can, when I can, if I can, all that jazz. And tune in next time as we talk about something else at another time. Hopefully something a little bit happier. And until then, good night.